The difference between someone being empowered and being enslaved, sometimes I think that could be a thin line. We hear the term empowerment thrown around quite a bit. One of the things I'd like to say about it is it's not something you do by yourself. Empowerment requires society because it lifts you up. It gives you the power, if you will, to rise above your situation. I never liked the term, I raised myself up by my own bootstraps. That just even from a logical perspective, to even see that in my mind. So empowerment requires a community to help you. And when I say that there's a thin line between that and enslavement, it's because we all have blind spots. And at one moment, you could be empowered, but as you trek along in your journey, there may be aspects of your life that, or even not just a person, but even an organization. That's why we get called often as ATC consultants to look at an organization and say, hey, that's what they're asking of us. Empower us to be more profitable. Empower us to have more, a better ability to relate to our employees and help them to be more productive and effective. But oftentimes when we've done that in the past, we've had to be brutally honest and say, okay, we know that we can start with the processes and the procedures and the changes necessary to help that organization, but ultimately you can't fix an organization without addressing the people, because they define the entity. It's the people that make an organization, the organism. So you eventually have to tap into that, and therein is where the wheels begin to fall off, because oftentimes you find that an organization may be limping along in its communication because someone isn't emotionally developed in their intellect enough. And there's a battle going on between management and different components of the leadership. And everybody understands the mission statement, but some people are selfish. Some people are called climbers, and instead of doing it the right way through promotion, they're climbing on their colleagues' back to get up there to the top. They don't care about the other person. So you can empower someone, but we have to be careful, because are we running along the empowerment with some enslavement? I think a good final example would be Israel in the desert with the Egyptians, forcing them into slavery to build the pyramids. Now, they were empowered to have the bricks and mortar and everything they needed to build these pyramids, but they were enslaved for many years until they were able to be freed by Moses. So you could be empowered and enslaved at the same time. We have to be careful, and I think it's important that I mention that when we speak about both. I think when you have knowledge, understanding, and the wisdom, you're able to erase that line between, like, well, wait a minute, if we're empowered, let's be empowered. There should be no space or no room for enslavement.